Hey guys, what's up? How you doing, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Q&A. I don't even know if I can say damn anymore. I think I can. So welcome to another edition of the damn Q&A. And thank you for joining and thank you for supporting this channel despite everything. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So, what has transpired this week? What happened this week that got everyone over a frenzy? Oh, that's right, Final Fantasy 16 came out exclusively to the PlayStation 5. And then, what else? A certain video game from the Super Nintendo is getting some kind of remake, right? What's the name of the game? It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. What else is there? Oh, another kind of remake of this action RPG that I've never heard before in my life. I mean, isn't it called something like Ocean Stars? Something like that, right? Is it Ocean Stars? Or is it like Star Sea? The third story? Or is it the fourth story? Something like that, right? Star Ocean 2, man! And Super Mario motherfucking RPG. We need to talk about those because I disagree. I'm just kidding. How are you guys? How are you? Thanks for joining. First and foremost, I'll be getting a lot of Final Fantasy 16 questions. Well, maybe not too many because I've been saying for the past 10,000 Q&As that I don't care. It's not that I don't care about the game, it's that I don't have a PlayStation 5, so I don't care about the game. Naturally. Why would you care about a game that's exclusive to a console you don't have? I mean, the rest of the internet cares, apparently. What's gotten my attention is that apparently the game seems to be desperately trying to be The Witcher 3 with some nudity and some sex scenes here and there and some mature rated content. I'm telling you, man, I think we talked about this a long time ago, and I even made a clip about it on my second channel, that I'm just very convinced that Square Enix doesn't know what to do with Final Fantasy anymore. I mean, it's been pretty clear for the past 20 years they've done nothing but rip off other companies and other ideas and other videos. I wonder why I said videos. I think Final Fantasy became as unoriginal as it can be. Like, okay. Some people left. Damn. I guess I should be praising. All hail, Final Fantasy 16 is a masterpiece, everybody. Fucking play it because I say so. More like Game of Thrones. Okay, so you guys are gonna have to tell me about the game because I have no fucking clue about it. I've seen a few clips here and there. I watched the trailers when they came out years ago. I don't know much about the game and I don't really care for it. I care way more about the fact that Super Mario RPG is getting a remake and that Star Ocean the Second Story is getting a remake. Super Mario RPG, I do want to say that despite being one of my favorite JRPGs of all time and very important to me personally, and a game that, well, it's pretty much my favorite Super Nintendo video game, I just don't know. There's a reason why I said that the game in one of my videos, that it aged pretty well. A lot of Super Nintendo games aged pretty well. So, this is one of those games that I don't feel it needed a remake. Like, why will they remake Super Mario RPG? Why can't Nintendo remake other games that do need a remake, desperately need a remake? Like the older Fire Emblem games, the ones that stayed in Japan, Thracia 776, Genealogy of the Holy War. I mean, what's going on with those games? Why not those? Why Super Mario RPG? It's just, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm happy because the remake looks fantastic and it looks great. And it still looks like it's gonna be, like with the isometric view. Like, I don't know, like it's not like it's not like the Super Mario RPG remake is gonna be Final Fantasy VII remake, like a completely different graphic engine with an action RPG and whatnot. Thankfully, the game will remain turn-based, and it's just with much better graphics and maybe new content and stuff. It looks amazing. To be honest, when I watched the trailer, I was like, I felt like chills running down my spine, on my skin, where I was like, man, oh man, it looks beautiful. But why Super Mario RPG? Why prioritize Super Mario RPG? That's just money for you. I mean, that's right, dude. They are remaking it because it will sell. That's it. But I just don't understand. I mean, why not? That's all I'm gonna say. You know, it's just why not other games like the older Fire Emblem games? You know, well, that's pretty much the fanboy, the Fire Emblem fanboy speaking right through me. Yeah, I'm happy. Super Mario RPG is getting a remake. It's gonna be a Nintendo exclusive, obviously. I don't know if do you guys know if it's going to get a physical release? I read something about Star Ocean 2. It probably will get a physical release. I don't know, but I don't. The first departure R, which was a remaster. You need to get that straight. Let me turn this down because it's too fucking loud. Star Ocean First Departure got a remake on the PSP. That's a remake, but the Switch/PS4 version is not a remake. They did remake the art style, it's different, and I don't like it. I liked more the original from the PSP version. But the game itself is not a remake, it's a remaster of the remake on the PSP. But this Star Ocean 2, that's a remake, and apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, it's gonna be using the HD 2D graphics. Didn't we call that like a couple of months ago in a Q&A, and I made a video called what JRPGs could benefit from using, or should be remade with the HD 2D graphics. And I think someone said Star Ocean 2, and I agreed, and look what happened. It is the HD 2D graphic engine, right? Like the Octopath Traveler engine, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm not sure if Tri-Ace is involved in this remake, or it's just Square Enix doing it by themselves with no involvement whatsoever from Tri-Ace. I haven't read that much to it because I've been busy as hell. I have an apology to make about something that I missed this week that I didn't do and that I said that I will do. Okay, thanks Kevin. He says, I think Star Ocean 2R is the first action RPG to use HD 2D. Okay, yeah, Tales of Fantasia is definitely next. It needs it. It fucking needs it. But Super Mario RPG, the remake looks great. Thank you, Kiss. But it makes me curious why not remake Super Mario RPG with the same graphic engine, HD 2D? Why not? I mean, I'm not complaining. Like I said, the trailer looks absolutely beautiful. I really liked it. I really liked how it looked, but I'm just curious to know that why Star Ocean is getting that treatment, that HD 2D, and not Super Mario RPG. And what's gonna happen? Imagine if Star Ocean 2 is successful, the remake. Imagine how many other JRPGs are we gonna get with the same graphic engine? Maybe Final Fantasy 6, 4, 5, and 6. Maybe somebody says Tales of Fantasia. Tri-Ace is involved. Anyway, the Star Ocean 2 remake looks great. If anybody answered this already, sorry, I missed it. Do you guys know if these two remakes are gonna get a physical release? Because First Departure, Star Ocean First Departure, the remaster of the remake, did not get a physical release. Did it? It didn't. It fucking didn't. Square has nothing to do with the Super Mario RPG remake. I figured. Both are getting physical releases. Okay, that's good. That's great news, but how? Are they going to be released physically like the pixel remasters of Final Fantasy 1 through 6? Like Square Enix themselves are going to sell the one from Star Ocean, the second story, so therefore it's going to be expensive as hell. And then once the copies run out, scalpers will get a hold of them and, raise the prices and etc. Because Nintendo themselves will be selling Super Mario RPG, so we have nothing to worry about that. So what's going to happen? Amazon too. Amazon is getting them, so it's going to be third party, okay? There's pre-orders for physical on the Square website. There you go. I don't trust that. Star Ocean 2 is getting a physical collector's edition, that's for sure. Okay. Looking forward to Metaphor Refantasia and Persona 3 Reload. Same here. I am interested. I'm interested in Metaphor Refantasia. Hopefully they will release a demo and I can try it out and maybe that'll make me buy the game maybe. Persona 3 Reload, even though it won't include the answer, breaks my fucking heart. I'm gonna buy it nonetheless. The collector's edition already sold out. Holy shit. Seriously? Hey! Wait, does that mean that my video 10 things you didn't know about Star Ocean, the second story, will pick up in views? People are gonna be interested now? And what does a $200 special collector's edition of Star Ocean 2 include? No PS5, guys. I don't have a PS5. I can't talk about Final Fantasy 16. And I'm honestly not really interested. To me, Final Fantasy died a long time ago. And this game once again looks like totally something that isn't Final Fantasy. I don't even know why they keep... Well, I do know why they keep using the name. It's just a misuse of the name. Are you playing Tears of the Kingdom? Nope. I would love to hear what your favorite PSP and Vita RPG is right now. My favorite PS Vita RPG... Okay, yeah, I know why you're asking that. It's because I never been able to decide a true winner, like a true favorite. I have one for all the other systems, even the motherfucking TurboGrafx 16. But yeah, what is my favorite PS Vita JRPG in my PSP? PSP is always changing, you know. I've never been able to decide, but I do have one that's been my favorite for years, but only if we combine both chapters. And of course, I'm talking about Trails in the Sky 1 and 2. Separately, I don't know, but together, if we think of these two chapters as one game, because they are, technically speaking, that's my favorite PSP JRPG. And I don't think that's gonna change ever, never. Probably it's gonna stay that way forever. Trails in the Sky 1 and 2 together. As for the PS Vita, holy shit. My problem with the Vita is that some of its best JRPGs, I played them on the PS4. Well, I finished them on the PS4, like Ys 8, Odin Sphere. But I did play Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2, and I finished them on the Vita. Maybe that should be my answer. But in reality, I'd like to say that my number one is probably Odin Sphere. I did play it on the Vita, all the Gwendolyn route, but I didn't finish it on the Vita. So Odin Sphere will be my answer, but if it has to be a JRPG that I actually beat on the Vita, then that's gotta go that's gotta be the Trails of Cold Steel games 1 and 2. 2 will be my favorite. Somebody donated, sorry man. Shattered Glass 23, thanks a bunch, man. I agree, sex crap's not necessary. One. But gotta be honest, man, Final Fantasy 16 is motherfucking awesome. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. My problem is that, well, my three problem is that, number one, that's not Final Fantasy anymore. It's just a different game with the popular name. Remember the Saga games on the Game Boy? Saga 1, 2, and 3, they were renamed as Final Fantasy Legends 1, 2, and 3, even though they are not Final Fantasy games. That's how I feel about this game, and the previous one, and the previous one, and the previous one, and even 12. 12 is a fantastic game. You guys know I'm a die-hard fan of Final Fantasy 12, but it's just not Final Fantasy. It's just not. But anyway, whatever, right? The important thing is that Final Fantasy or not, the game is motherfucking awesome, right? I haven't played it. It looks awesome. My second problem is that it's exclusive on PS5, so I don't have a PS5, and I am not planning on getting a PS5 anytime soon, so unless the game comes to PS4, I have to say that I don't give a shit about it. And number 3, like I said before earlier, like 10 minutes ago, I think the game is trying to be something it's not. Like, people were saying it's Game of Thrones, a ripoff. To me, it's a The Witcher 3 ripoff. It looks The clips I've seen are a little bit like it. They look like it, so I don't know. But take what I say with a grain of salt. You know, this is coming from a guy who's never played the game and will not play it for a long time. I guess I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble when I do my top 10 best JRPGs of 2023 in December this year. I mean, I'm gonna have to include the game maybe as an honorable mention. Yes, I'm interested in Persona 3 Reload. We talked about that in the previous Q&A. And I made a video on this channel called the Persona 3 Reload Controversy. Trails into Reverie hype. Yes, I'm about to finish the game. I'm at the final chapter of the game, and it's been a blast. That's all I can say. There's an embargo date. I can't talk publicly in detail about Trails into Reverie until June 29, I think. But I'm going to upload my full video review of that game. The day it comes out. It's coming out in July 7th, right? That's the day I'll upload my review. I have some bad things to say about it, but it's mostly positive. That's all I'm gonna say. Sorry if I missed your questions. When is the next stream of a crappy RPG? Thank you for asking that. I know most of you don't give a shit, but if in case you do, thank you for caring. But I missed it this week. I got too busy. I overestimated the video that I did on consoles. I don't know if you guys watched it. It's called Top 10 Best Consoles for JRPGs. I thought it was going to be a breeze, and it turned out to be a very hard video to do, especially because of the editing. There was a lot of footage from many different games and a lot of images. It took me about 6 to 7 hours to edit the video, so I spent the entire day editing, and I got really tired at the end of the day. So yeah, I didn't plan things very well, and on top of it all, I got sick yesterday. And miraculously, I managed to upload my second episode of my private podcast, which is on Patreon. Link to my Patreon page in the description of this video. If you guys want to listen to me rambling and ranting and raging and, well, more like being insightful. There's a different tone to the podcast than it is in these Q&As. And I talk about things that I can't talk about in YouTube, and things that I've kept secret for some time. And yeah, if you want to listen to that private podcast, link in the description. It's on Patreon, and I hope you guys join. I'm gonna put the link in the community section in a bit. You know, after the stream is over, after this Q&A is over, I'm gonna put it there. But yeah, that's all I managed to do. And you guys gotta remember that my mom's been out of the hospital for a couple of weeks. She was released, she's fine, but her recovery is gonna take forever. It's gonna take weeks or months maybe. And me and my family, we're taking turns taking care of her, so I need to go and spend an entire day with her. And obviously I can't record or shoot any videos in there, because despite what most of you may believe, everything you watch from me is, well, except the compilations of the re-uploads, all of my brand new videos are pretty much brand new. They're fresh. I'm not one of those YouTubers. I should be. I fucking should be. One of those YouTubers that they just record a lot of videos and then just release them like a month later after being recorded. No, everything you watch from my channel is fresh. You know, I recorded it. I finished the video the day before I uploaded it. So yeah, I should probably change my schedule and my way of working, because right now I've been using 1 or 2 days a week to take care of my mom. And like I said, I can work there, I can edit my videos in there, but I can't record anything. So this week there was a lot of work, and I got sick yesterday, fucking diarrhea. But I'm fine now. Thanks for asking. And sorry guys, so sorry that I couldn't do another crappy JRPG stream, another one, the second episode of the worst JRPGs of all time. Coming soon, definitely next week, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. It's gonna be random, but it's probably gonna be a certain PSP JRPG that I hate passionately. That's all. Lina Artemis, thanks a bunch. She says, glad to see a JRPG channel who doesn't rely on Twitter. I've never relied on Twitter, actually. You know, I had a Twitter account some time ago. I closed it about 8 months ago. Probably a lot of people didn't realize I just vanished from Twitter, and I just didn't like Twitter. I didn't like Twitter. You know, I posted some videos in there, and I took care of it for a while. I was posting stuff, and I don't know, it just never worked for me. Yeah, people say it sucks, but it's not about that. I don't think Twitter sucks. I just don't think it's a social media that I enjoy. I don't even enjoy social media at all. That's why I quit Facebook, Twitter. I don't think I ever had an Instagram account, TikTok, you know, stuff. I don't. All I have is YouTube. I do have a Discord, but it's private. It's like for friends only. Thank you guys for your best wishes about my mom. She's getting better, but what she had was pancreatitis, and that's a pain in the ass to recover from. She got a surgery, it went fine, but the recovery of that, she's 68 and a half years old, so it just takes forever to recover from that. So it's gonna take a while, but thank you for your wishes, people. Thank you very much. Hey Don, nice to see you here, man. Scarlet Nexus is a great game. I kind of want to talk about it again. Haven't talked about Scarlet Nexus in a while. Parasite Eve 3? What about it? Sorry that I missed some of your comments and questions. People are calling Final Fantasy 16 racist because there's no black people in it. They will say the same about Super Mario RPG. And they will probably say the same about Trails into Reverie. No, wait, there's one black person, but she's a spoiler character. And, I mean, I don't know if I should say that she's in the game. Never mind, I can't talk about Trails into Reverie. Shattered Glass, thanks again, man. He says, regarding Final Fantasy 16, you don't think a series can evolve? Absolutely, I think a series can evolve, just not in that way, and not without its original creators. I'm a purist when it comes to that, so don't make me use the same Tolkien argument that I've been using since forever. Like, a Lord of the Rings, not by Tolkien, it's just not Lord of the Rings to me. I'm not really a fan of Lord of the Rings, but it's a good example, you know. That's just how I think. You may disagree. But that doesn't take away the fact that the game may be awesome. I'll use an even better example. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Okay? I'm a die-hard Fire Emblem fan. I've been a fan of the series for the past 20 years or so. And I loved Three Houses. I thought it was a phenomenal game. I fucking love that game. But it just doesn't feel like a Fire Emblem game to me anymore. So, same argument. I haven't played Final Fantasy 16 though, but thanks to what I've seen in the trailers and the clips that I've seen, and it just doesn't look like a Final Fantasy game to me. But let's just forget about the name. Let's just forget about the name, you know. Is the game awesome? If you guys say the game is awesome, then it's awesome. That's it. But the Final Fantasy IX remake, I have a clip that I'll be uploading on my second channel. We discussed that in the previous Q&A. If it's true, if it ends up being true, I'm excited and looking forward to it as long as it's turn-based. I don't want to see Final Fantasy IX as an action RPG. Well, I'm not sure about Paper Mario. I never played the last... No, I did play the last one. No, the Switch. There was one on the Switch, right? The Origami, whatever. I didn't play that, and I don't know much about it. But before that, there was one on the 3D... Which came before? The 3DS one or the Wii U? Because I played the 3DS one, and it was still turn-based. But the Wii U game, I didn't play it. Final Fantasy 16 is so hit and miss, too many highs and lows. Can you tell us what are those high and lows, in your opinion? What were your thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Remake? I think it's a good game, but then again, that's not Final Fantasy, and that's not even Final Fantasy VII to me. But if we forget about the fact that it's called Final Fantasy VII, I think it's a good game. I liked it. I thought I loved the game. When I first played the game, I was like, and I finished it, I was like, man, I love this game. And I think I included it in a video called 10 JRPGs that surpassed my expectations. But months went by, and I just kept thinking over and over. And I was like, man, I don't think I really love this game. So in the end, I turned out to be not the fan I was of Final Fantasy VII Remake. But the fact is that I think it's a good game and that I enjoyed it. But I can't really say, oh, it's a super strongly recommended game. Not really. It's just too divisive. It's one of those games that it's naturally going to divide people. I mean, and there's just a lot of ups and downs for me in that game. The game is great and all, but it does have some balancing issues. You know, some bosses are like straight up fucking stupid and annoying, and others are too fucking boring. Like the one in the arena, I was like, oh my god, I wasn't even dying, and I was playing on normal, and the boss was just taking fucking forever to die. And the same with the fucking spider at the beginning, the first boss of the game. I was like, man, a lot of people found those bosses extremely fun. That's okay. I didn't. I thought they were pretty boring bosses. They just took forever to kill. Hence what I was talking about before in the podcast. Most of you can't hear it unless you join Patreon, link in the description. But I talked about in the first episode that I don't think a lot of modern JRPG developers, I don't think they know how to make their games challenging or hard anymore. All they seem to do is put a lot of HP to the bosses and that's it. And it's just boring, in my opinion. I've had a lot of fun with boss fights that are really, really intense, and they last like 5 minutes or less. And I don't care, because I had a lot of fun and it was very challenging. But then there's other bosses that take fucking forever, and I'm there like half an hour fighting them, and I'm like, man. So what, the game is trying to force me to grind a lot and get the best equipment and exploit everything, and okay, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna trash the boss in like 5 minutes. And there's just, I mean, these bosses are not fun, whether you beat them in 5 minutes, 5 seconds, or 5 hours. They are not fun, to me. If they were fun to you, that's totally respectable. I didn't find them fun. Thank you, Who Flung 128. That's an interesting name. Nice cat picture. Hey man, I love your channel. Thanks for that. I really appreciate your outlook on the genre. Keep it up. Thanks. Wish your mom all the best on her recovery. Thank you, man. Thanks. I'm going to see her today. You know, we always go to my parents' house every Sunday, so it's a well-known fact in this channel. Okay, Michael Heiss from Final Fantasy 16. Music, the Akon fights, don't know what that is. Combat low, super boring side quests, frame rate too easy. Oh, I did notice some frame rate issues, and guess what? Trails into Reverie. Yeah, and I'm playing the PS4 version, which is it's supposed to be the superior version. It does have some frame rate issues. It's not bothersome. It's just in a couple of areas and in some cutscenes. I recorded one, not in an area I should have, right? Today I recorded a part where if you move the camera around town, it lags in a certain position, a certain frame. I'm gonna talk about that in the video. Yeah, or I don't know if they're gonna patch the game. I'm gonna send an email to Indies America saying, hey, your game, just so you know, the game has some frame rate issues. You might want to you might want to fix them before releasing the game on July 7. Yeah, we talked about the Super Mario RPG remake. I said that it looked beautiful, that I'm very interested, that I'm very happy that it's getting a physical release, which of course I'm gonna get in a few years once the price drops, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like $50 at the very least. And I also said that I didn't think a remake was necessary, that the game aged pretty well, it just needed some kind of port or re-release, but okay, I can't complain, it's getting a remake, that's awesome. And I uploaded the trailer on my second channel. Have any of you guys played the Mega Man Battle Network collection? Because I saw the physical release for $25 on Amazon, and I was this close of getting it. I was like, man, I'm not really... I mean, I played the first one, the Game Boy Advance, and I wasn't that big of a fan of it. I liked it, but I was like, man, it's just not for me. But maybe the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy, maybe it'll make me a fan, right? So can you guys convince me? Like I convince you buying certain JRPGs, even though companies never pay me. I've heard that a lot, that the first Mega Man Battle Network is the worst in the series. Everybody says that the second one and the third one are the best. I'll take that into consideration. So it's worth getting, right, for $25? I'm not sure if it's $25 still on Amazon. Did you play Triangle Strategy? Yes, and I made a review of it. Do you think the Star Ocean remake they announced for the Switch is worth it? Yeah, I love Star Ocean The Second Story, the original. I love the HD 2D graphic style, so yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's worth it even though it doesn't exist yet. It's just a trailer for now. Which JRPG song will you use in your books? I've used a lot of JRPG songs to write certain parts of my books. I mean, I always use other songs, but I've used some of them. I was using a lot of songs when I was writing Terra Gaiden as background music just to get inspired. When I wrote Terra Gaiden in the Revenant Army. It was a long time ago. We're talking about books that I wrote 9 years ago, man. But yeah, I remember using some JRPG's music in there. Or is that what you're trying to ask, Kiss? I hope I understood your question. Mega Man Battle Network Collection is awesome. Okay. But I'm trying to ask, how does it compare to the Game Boy Advance releases? I mean, I'm just not gonna spend... okay, I don't want to spend $25 on something that is free on the Game Boy Advance. I can just download every single one of those games and play them free on my emulator on my PlayStation TV. So is it worth getting for someone like me the Mega Man Battle Network Collection? Played for PvP? What's PvP? Sorry. I think I've heard that term, but I just don't remember what it stands for. I mean, like, what's PvP? What books? I'm an author. You can find all of the books that I've written in the description of this video. There's a link to them. Yeah, I thought it was player versus player. So they have, okay, got it. I don't have any friends in real life. All of my friends live far away or in other countries or cities, so I don't have anybody to play with. So I don't care about the PvP. Yeah, Michael, thanks for asking. You can find all of my books. I'm an author. I've independently written a lot of books. You can find all of them for sale on Amazon, digital and physical, in English. Yeah, but to play online, you gotta pay. It wasn't like in the good old PS3 era where you can play online for free. No, right? I mean, it's just, you gotta pay, and I don't wanna pay. I don't play online. Anyway. Okay, so you guys say that it is worth it. At least for $25, it's worth it, right? What do you think about the upcoming Fate game? What? Fate Samurai Remnant? Oh, I saw something about it, but I haven't watched the trailer. I'll have to check out the trailer later. I can't wait to get a release date for Fate Extra Remake. That remake was announced over 3 years ago, for fuck's sake. 3 years ago, and we still do not have a release date. I really want to play the fucking remake, man. You have no friend? Did you at least grab their emails? I do have friends. I just don't have anyone nearby I can hang out with anymore. That used to be Oscar. But, I mean, we're far away now. Can't wait for Penny Blood and Armed Fantasia 2025. Yeah, we're still 2 years ahead of those. I'm away from those games. I'm excited too. I'm excited about another JRPG that's supposed to be released this year and we don't have a release date yet, and that's a Eiyuden motherfucking Chronicle 100 Heroes. What's up with that? What is up with that? I mean, it's almost July and no release date. It's probably gonna be released on November, mark my words. And once it gets a release date, Konami is gonna release their Suikoden remasters too. Have you played any of the Fate Stay Night visual novels? We shouldn't talk about those. I played a little bit of one. To be honest, I played out of curiosity, if you catch my drift. But I got bored. Like 10-15 minutes later, I was like, man, no. I prefer the fighting games or the RPG. I don't think it will get released this year. I think it will. They promised. In the Kickstarter, I mean, they've been promising for the past 3 years that it was going to be released this year. If they delay it, that's going to hurt them a lot. Yeah, but they promised. I mean, they had 3 years to make it. Why wouldn't they release it this year? It's okay. I mean, if they feel the need to delay the game until next year because they want to improve it, I mean, it's justified. It makes sense. But then they shouldn't promise things like that, you know, that, oh, the game will be released for sure in 2023. Don't say that. It's like me with the streams of the worst JRPGs ever. I promised one for this week and it didn't happen. See, Eiyuden Chronicle developers, don't be like me. Don't follow my example. Did you ever play any Katamari games? I played one on the PS2. Nah, it's okay. It's fun for a bit. People say it can get really addictive, but I don't know. I mean, they're okay. Silent Hope. I remember seeing something about that a couple of days ago. Silent Hope. Let me double check. I remember seeing something about Silent. Yeah, I watched the trailer. It says here that I watched the trailer. Let me oh yeah, it's this game. Oh, it's the Marvelous game by Exceed. Yeah, I watched the trailer. Okay, here it is. Yeah, I remember now. Oh, you know why? It looks like a mobile game. It looks like one of those mobile games. I'm not that interested in it. It looks kind of generic. Maybe it'll be good. You know, I've seen generic looking games like Land Racer 1 and 2, and they turned out to be fantastic. Maybe this game will be the same, I don't know. But have you played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? Yeah, I'm not a fan of the games. I don't like Grand Theft Auto. Do you think the new Final Fantasy is straying away too much from its roots? I already made a whole rant about that like 20 minutes ago. Do you hate mobile games? It's not that I hate them, it's that I don't like them, and I kind of reject them out of philosophy, not because I hate them. I reject them because I think a lot of my favorite companies are releasing brand new games for them, part of their main series, and I don't like that. I've seen way too many of my beloved JRPG series going mobile, and nothing happens after that. You know, Valkyrie Profile, Breath of Fire, Arc the Lath, Shining Force. It only made me, you know, reject mobile gaming even more because it disappointed me. I mean, the console market is still very fucking strong, and I just don't understand why these companies won't release a brand new game in the series for a console and not some mobile crap. And most mobile games are gacha, free-to-play games that are like, I don't like the model of business. I tried Fire Emblem Heroes, and I got addicted to it for like 6 months, 6 years ago when it came out. But in the end, it never really felt like a Fire Emblem. It was a very hollow experience, and I always felt fucking stupid when playing it. Like I wasn't getting anything rich out of it, you know, anything insightful. I don't know how to say this, you know, but the game wasn't giving me anything back. It was just a waste of my time. So, that's my take on mobile games. What are your thoughts on Crystar? The same devs are remaking Star Ocean 2? Oh, they are the ones doing the remake? That's awesome. Crystar is a really good game. Kinda dark. Surprisingly dark. It's beautiful. It's a solid action RPG. I'm interested in the sequel coming out this year called Cry Machina. I don't think it's going to be connected to Crystar, but it's by the same developers and it's on the same series, apparently. So, yeah. I don't have a PlayStation 5, people. I haven't played Final Fantasy 16. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy 4 and 6. I would rather see a turn-based Final Fantasy again. Me too. I was never a fan of Devil May Cry's combat. I don't like Devil May Cry, but I like the combat. Buy a PS5. Sure. I don't know where I'm gonna get $600 out of my ass and buy it. And even if I had them, I will put them to somewhere else. I will do something else with that money. I'm not paying $600 for a console. That's just ridiculous. Which system would you recommend Crystar on? I've only played the PlayStation 4 version, so that's the one I'm going to recommend. I haven't played the Switch version. I know it's on Switch, but I haven't played it. I've looked at it, some gameplay footage, and it looks fine. Doesn't seem to be struggling with frame rate and resolution issues that much. But I recommend the PlayStation 4 version, though I think the PlayStation 4 North American version is kind of expensive. You might want to go with the PAL version, the European version. Have you played Revenant Wings on the DS? Yes, I did, Kiss. And I didn't like it. It's Final Fantasy 12, right? Didn't like it one bit. I thought it was pretty bad. You know what would make me buy a PlayStation 5? If it had more exclusives that I will be very interested in. Right now, there's only a Plague Tale Requiem. I love the original Plague Tale Innocence. Probably my favorite PS4 game, non-RPG. I love that much. But that's the only exclusive game on the PS5 that I really care about. Everything else is on PS4. Final Fantasy 16, I don't really care for it. I don't really care about it, so I need more exclusives to it to make me care enough to say, okay, I have no choice, I'm buying a PS5. But Final Fantasy 16, no. A Plague Tale Requiem is not on everything. It's not on PS4. Do you think Dragon Quest X will ever come to America, or at least the offline version? I don't think so. There's no point. But yeah, maybe, right? Ys 5 needs a remake. It does, yeah, in the same style as Celceta. You know how Falcom remade Ys 4? Because there were two versions of it back in the TurboGrafx days and Super Famicom. Never released outside of Japan, Ys 4. So Falcom they made a remake of those two games and pretty much turned it into one definitive version, which was Memories of Celceta. They need to do the same with Ys 5. The same. Trails into Reverie is coming to PS5. I'm playing it on the PS4. What do you think of Dragon Quest Monsters? I haven't played a single Dragon Quest Monsters. I know they were released on the DS, Nintendo DS, and they seemed okay, but I have no opinion. Anybody enjoying Street Fighter 6? Hey, what happened to that Gollum game? I haven't seen a single video about it, nor have I seen a trailer or gameplay footage. But I've seen on my feed on YouTube that the title of the videos, people are trashing that game a lot. The Gollum game. Is it possible to buy a hacked PS4? Yeah! I mean, it's gotta be possible, right? I don't know where, but it's definitely have to be possible. It has to be possible. That Golem game is the worst game this year. Like, why? Why is it bad? It makes me want to play it. Why does it suck? It's so good, it's so bad it's good. Any Dreamcast RPG outside the US? What do you mean outside of the US? You mean that stayed in Japan? There's a lot of them. A lot of JRPGs on Dreamcast didn't make it overseas. Technical issues? Don't tell me they're trashing the game because of its technical issues. I want to know if it's a good game or not, even if it's technically flawed. Is 5 is basically the Sonic 06 of the Ys series? You haven't played that Sonic game on the Nintendo DS, have you? The Dark Brotherhood, I think it's called. What games have you played? What do you mean? What do you mean? I think I might do I was gonna do the one today, but I didn't have enough time to plan it. But remember when we did the video on the most underrated JRPGs on every single system, every console? I kind of want to do another one of those with you guys. Probably next Q&A. Yeah, I was gonna do that today, but no time to plan it properly. And I still have Tuesday's video to work on. Busy as hell. But probably next Q&A, you know, we'll make one of those. A video together. I don't know which one will be. No, I'm not doing the waifus video. Forget about that. But we gotta do something similar, like the whatever JRPG on every console, something like that. Thank you, Ashoka Tano. I just got into emulation and finished Suikoden 2. Emulators, GBA, DS, 3DS, SNES, N64, etc. I'm waiting for Trails into Reverie. Huge fan of the Trails games. Me too, and I've been playing it because I got a review code and I'm going to make a review of the game. And all I can say is that I've been having a blast, and I've actually overlooked other review codes that other developers sent me, other publishers sent me because of it. I should probably go get to them, but I'm just too obsessed with Trails into Reverie. Where are you playing your Sega Saturn emulator? I've never been able to make a Sega Saturn emulator work in my computer or my PS TV or anywhere. Is Sephiroth the best villain ever? No. You have yet to meet the guy from Xenosaga. I'm not gonna say his name because it's a spoiler. There are others. There are some pretty interesting villains in the Trails series. A lot of people will say Luca Blight, but to me he's just a demented psychopath. He's not that. I think Luca Blight is kind of overrated, but he's an interesting antagonist nonetheless. Do you like doing workout exercises? Yes, I do. Kefka is better. Kefka is just like Luca Blight. He's just fucking crazy and he's fun. I mean, we love him because of that, but at the same time, there's not much to him. Sea of Stars looks fantastic. Yes, it does. You don't have the B-Shock Sega Saturn emulator? No, I don't. Is that a new thing? The last time I tried emulating on the Sega Saturn was 3 years ago. So I may have missed on a lot of updates or new emulators, stuff like that. How about Rin's father? Interesting antagonist, yeah. But he's, I mean, there's just a lot. I think they went nuts with that antagonist. Like, I felt overwhelmed with a lot of information, and I don't even remember half of it. Like, they wrote a lot of plot and plot twists for that antagonist, and it lost me. There's just a lot. That's the problem with the Trail series. It's just way too much on certain characters. that you eventually get lost. You're gonna play the Diablo 4? No, I probably won't. Who do you think is the best Final Fantasy villain? Let me think about all of them. You're asking about the main antagonists, right? I mean, we can't include Beatrix from Final Fantasy IX. She's an antagonist for a part of the game. I know we can't. Yeah, we're listening to some Final Fantasy music. Final Fantasy VIII music, Find Your Way. I like Ultimecia from Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy X is kind of a spoiler. The big monster. Well, there's Vayne from Final Fantasy XII. I thought he was an interesting antagonist. Both him and Gabranth. Gabranth is one of my favorite antagonists across the series. Gabranth. But it's Vayne. I mean, I think Vayne is a more interesting antagonist. Like, it totally feels like he was written by Yasumi Matsuno. He knows how to create antagonists. Play Tactics Ogre or Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, I think I'm a bigger fan of Ultimecia, whatever it is pronounced. And Vayne from Final Fantasy XII. I like Sephiroth, but he's overrated. And Kuja, he's also kind of overrated. Kuja, I don't know. I like his development, but there's something generic about him, actually. And Kefka's great. It's up there with my favorites, but he's kind of overrated too. Who was the main bad guy in Final Fantasy V? What about 4? Final Fantasy XIII was the biggest villain in almost killing a great series. But if we're counting Beatrix, then Beatrix. Fuck yeah. X-Death is Final Fantasy V. Well, that's boring. Golbez is an interesting antagonist. It's just those are the very popular ones. Sephiroth, Luca Blight, Kefka. This is music from the upcoming JRPG, in the RPG Sea of Stars. Great boss battle theme, huh? It's just I like it when villains are multidimensional. They aren't one-sided villains, like Luca Blight, for example. That's just the guy who went nuts. Kefka too. They're just two one-sided, bad guys. I like when antagonists are different and there's different sides to them, and there's a lot you can agree with and a lot of you can disagree with, and you understand them more, stuff like that. But tragic, overused characters like Sephiroth are kind of like more boring in my opinion. Sephiroth is getting some kind of retreatment, just like Erick in Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. We'll see about that. Dragon Quest Fun 8 has a fun villain. That guy. What was his name? What was the guy's name? You hear about that guy from the very beginning of the game. I don't lift weights. I should, though. Did you like the remake of Live Alive? Yes, I only played the demo, though. I don't have the game. I was waiting for a physical version of the PS4 to come out, and it's going to come out. Dolmagus, thanks. Dolmagus. And but the demo, I loved it. I thought it was a great game. Pretty experimental JRPG, Live Alive. I mean, the battle system is pretty much the same on every route, but I like the fact that you finish one route and then you get the credits, and then the other one, and so on. And when you finish all 8 of them, I think it's 8 characters, you get like the true route and the final boss, the true final boss and whatnot. It's interesting, it influenced Octopath Traveler. It's pretty much the same. Villains like Daos from Tales of Fantasia. Daos is a pretty interesting character, I had forgotten about him. We were starting to talk about the Tales series and their villains. Not a lot of them have interesting villains, you know. I think it's another spoiler, but one of my favorite villains is from Tales of Symphonia 2. What else? Without the Tales game spoiled their bad guys. Because honestly, I love Tales of Berseria, but Artorius just wasn't that interesting. I mean, he's a good villain, and he's a hateful villain. I mean, you hate that asshole the entire fucking game. So that the developers did a great job when they deliver a guy you can hate passionately since the beginning. Fucking hate that guy because he's pretty much inspired by real life politicians and how we fucking hate how they brainwash people, and we talk to these brainwashed people, and we can't believe, you know, they worship these assholes that much. When all politicians are garbage, you know. Yeah, that's Artorius for you. So maybe in the end he is a great antagonist, right? The type of antagonist that manipulates the masses. Kind of like Rufus in the Trails series. Oh man, I did play the Banner Saga games and I didn't like them one bit. I played the first one, I have the trilogy on the PS4, played the first one and boring as hell. Well, let's not spoil the final bosses of some games. Lynx, you're right, but Lynx isn't the main antagonist of the game. You know who it is. Let's not spoil it. But yeah. Lizard is an interesting character if you play the first one too. If you only play Valkyrie Profile 2, I mean, Lizard is not... He's a great antagonist, but not that great. Unless you play the first one to understand him a little better. You play both games and then Lizard Valid makes a lot of sense. He's a great antagonist. This Q&A sounding like a Nier title. That was the whole purpose. Damn Q&A number 3209438509 blah 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 blah. Okay, I might do a video on the best villains in JRPGs. I haven't done that in a long time and it's been a huge request. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to edit the video and get footage, specific footage of each antagonist, but it's doable. I can do it. Are you in a safe area of Guadalajara? I'd like to think that I am. Have you tried Street Fighter 6? Hey, Oscar. Nope. I don't have a PS5, man. What makes you think I bought a PS5 already? I haven't tried them. Have you ever played any Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale games? Icewind Dale, I've never heard of that. Baldur's Gate, I play with Dark Alliance on the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube. You know what? I think they're great games, but... well, I think Dark Alliance is a great game, but it's just much better to play with somebody else. If you play by yourself, it's kind of boring and repetitive. I think it was an RPG clearly designed to be played with somebody else. Offline or online, whatever, you know, but with someone else. By yourself, I thought it was a little bit boring. I had the same problem with Champions of Norath, and I don't know, man. I just think those games are designed to be played in multiplayer. Kind of like Dragon Marked for Death. And you play by yourself and it's pretty damn good during the first several hours, but at the end you're like, man, it's not that fun to play by yourself. These are games clearly designed to be played with somebody else, like Duck Upon Journey and Duck Upon Kingdom. Have you played The Bard's Tale? I played it on the PS2 and I fucking hated the game. I know it's influential and whatever, you know, but I just thought it was pretty bad on the PlayStation 2. I don't know about other versions. Icewind Dale is just like Baldur's Gate. So would you say it's a ripoff? As a Mario fan, what do you think of Super Mario Bros. Wonder? I didn't even watch a trailer because I was so hyped for the Super Mario RPG remake. I completely forgot about it. I haven't seen the trailer, I will. I think we're similar. I buy cheap games. I do buy expensive games as long as they are, one, very necessary for my channel, or two, because I really want to play them like right now, and I really want to own them. But yeah, most of the time I wait. With the majority of games, I wait until they're cheap. Or at least, I don't know, $20, $30, something like that. Another D&D game. Buying a console just for 1 or 2 games is so sad. I have fallen in love with the PS5. Gaming is not getting any cheaper, man. I know that, but I am in no hurry to play certain games. I can wait. Others I can't. You know, I kind of like, I feel like they are necessary. Like I bought Shin Megami Tensei 5 at full price. I paid like $60-something for it. And that's a sin for my philosophy. I did the same with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Trails of Cold Steel 4. So, you see, sometimes it's just, I gotta do it. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. But I have other priorities right now. More mobile games taking over. I don't know, I still feel like the console and PC markets are huge, stupidly strong nowadays. I don't think the mobile market is going to take over anytime soon. What's your favorite route from Shin Megami Tensei? You're gonna have to be more specific, like which Shin Megami Tensei, because I never beat the first one, if that's what you're asking about. I don't think the first Shin Megami Tensei aged well. In fact, it aged terribly. I played in the fan-translated version of the Super Famicom, and oh my god. Wow. It's just, it aged horribly. Desperately needs a remake. Have you played Shin Megami Tensei If? No, it's on the list. Isn't that the game that has like a mixed fan base? Like half the fans hate it, and the other half loves it. Did you cry at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3? I fucking did. Yes. Let's not spoil the ending, but yeah. I mean, in that scene, I know which scene you're referring to. How can you not cry in that scene, man? I am getting older too. More vulnerable or sensitive in certain things, and less sensitive for others. But yeah, man, I fucking cried. Thoughts on Radiant Historia. I can always tell when a user is new to this channel. I've been praising Radiant Historia since forever. Forever, man. I love that game. Who is your GOAT writer for video games? Damn. I mean, we gotta give praise to Yoshitaka Murayama. Definitely the creator of Suikoden, but I really like... I always forget these guys' name. I can't believe it. The script writer for Devil Survivor and the Grow Lancer series. Yo Hadoki! Yeah. Yo Hadoki. YOH. That's the GOAT. That guy's the GOAT, man. I really did like, though, the writer of Corpse Party who wrote Dead End Request 1 and 2. Amazing writer. Kojima, but yeah, I'm not really a fan of his games, so I wouldn't know. I didn't watch the Nintendo Direct because it was so fucking early in the morning, so I missed it. But I did watch the trailers of the games that I'm interested in. So of course I'm interested in Star Ocean 2 and the Super Mario RPG remake. Yoko Taro is also one of my favorite writers. I think he will probably be my number one. Yeah, Yoko Taro, definitely. I mean, fucking definitely. Nobody writes like him. Do you have any ideas for when you get to 100,000 subscribers? Yeah, I have a bunch of them. It's gonna take a long time because I feel like subscription rates have decreased considerably for everybody since a couple of years ago. I mean, it just went downhill. For a while, I thought it was me because of all the dramas and the shadow banning controversies and whatnot. But the way I made an analysis the other day, and I lose the same amount of subscribers that I've been losing since forever, but I've been getting less subscribers, and I thought it was only me. But I looked at other channels, not JRPG channels, other channels that I follow, and they even famous channels, and they're having a lot of issues, with subscribers. Like I can't believe what's this guy's name? He's pretty famous, Scott the Was, yeah. That guy's pretty famous, and I always thought he had like 5 million subscribers or something, and he doesn't even have 2, I think, right? Or did I look at some other famous YouTuber stats? I don't know, but I mean, like, what's going on? People aren't subscribing to channels anymore, so I don't know when the hell am I going to get to 100,000 subscribers. But when I do have plans. I made a promise that I will try to get my hands on Time and Eternity, and I'm gonna stream it, and my face will be there, so you can see my reactions and my suffering and my cringe, my rage live. But keep in mind, I'm not gonna buy the fucking game. It's like kind of expensive already. I don't know why that game got so rare and expensive. I don't know why. But I'm gonna try to hack my PS3 and maybe I can download a ROM and emulate it, right? So that's one plan for the 100,000 subscribers special, and I have other plans but I just haven't decided yet. I previously had thought that making a top 10 only in Japan JRPGs will be fun, but I don't think a lot of people are gonna watch that video because I just don't think I have a big audience for fan-translated JRPGs, unfortunately. So I don't think people will care that much about that video, but I don't know. Man, but if I can get a ROM of Time and Eternity working on my PS3, you bet your ass I'm gonna stream that fucking game. I applaud your stubbornness on your content. It remains the same over the years. I don't know how to take. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm not sure. So you mean I'm the same? Nothing's changed? I haven't evolved? I'm the same guy as before? My content's the same. No, it's different. I like to think that I evolved a little bit. Like it's in a good way. Thanks. But I like to think that I have improved. Like I find it hard to believe that I struggle. Well, my scripts from the videos from many years ago were shorter, right? And nowadays I struggle writing a short script for a video, and all of my top 10s end up being like 18 minutes long, 20 minutes long, 17 minutes long nowadays, and I'm like, man. So that's dangerous, but that's I like to believe that I improved my writing, my scripting for my videos, and the quality of them. I don't know, but thanks, man. I know you meant well with that comment, but I'd like to evolve to other stuff, but people are. I mean, changes are always hard. Getting people used to them, it's the hard part. Like I I would like to try different things, but I know most people are not gonna watch them. And I know certain types of top 10s that I've done in the past didn't do very well in views because they're different. Because I've just done a shit ton of videos and top 10s where I recommended games. And I kind of want to start talking about other stuff, but people aren't watching those videos, and it's kind of hard to evolve, very hard. It's there's a lot of brainstorming in there. But thanks, Donsk. Anyway, YouTube don't recommend videos anymore, or sometimes you get unsubbed for no reason. So check if you're subbed. Yeah, you guys need to check right now if you are actually subscribed to this channel. If you are not, there's a big button in there, just click on it and that's it. There's also a bell. If you click on it, you might get a little bit more often the recommendations from my channel or the notifications whenever I upload a video or go live. But it works like shit. Don't trust it, but it helps a little bit. And okay, Linus Tech Tips was who? Oh, it's a YouTube channel, Linus Tech Tips. Okay, he was talking about last Friday about how subscriber count seems to be falling compared to the number of views. Yes, a lot. It's kind of weird. Well, to me, it's kind of like the other way around, right? I have way more subscribers than views right now. But that's true. People are choosing to watch videos from the random YouTuber with 10,000 subscribers. And all of a sudden, you realize, you watch this video and it has like 400,000 views. And you're like, oh my god, who made this video? Oh, this guy with 5,000 subscribers. What? Come on, YouTube, what's going on in there? That's cool. It happened to me I remember when I had 12,000 subscribers. And I had a couple of videos that had like hundreds of thousands of views. And I was like, oh my god. And well, let's not forget about the slideshows. My PSP no commentary video from 9 years ago and the DS video had like 400,000 or 500,000 subs when I didn't even have 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, it's a problem. But I think the real problem is that people aren't getting notified. There's a lot of shadow banning, a lot of censorship. It's gotten way worse than before. And YouTube just looks for any excuse whatsoever, mechanically or manually. When I say mechanically, I mean how the AIs, their algorithms sometimes misinterpret things or misunderstand things. So whether it's mechanically or manually or automatically, they're just doing a lot of fucking stupid shit. They don't know how to handle their website anymore. But another problem, I think, it's the fact that there's just a lot of YouTube channels nowadays. Shit ton of them. I've lost track on how many JRPG channels are there a long time ago. I stopped paying attention to that. I remember last year, I saw a lot of new guys, just getting a lot of views, and I was like, where did this person come from, and there's a lot of them. And last year I said, I stopped paying attention because there's just too many. Plus, I don't watch JRPG content on YouTube. Every channel that I watch is not RPG related at all. YouTube doesn't seem to manage to present search results. I search for concerts 2023 and I get Andrew Tate videos and crap. Same here. I was looking for something the other day. I'm not gonna say what because it's politically incorrect. And I can't say that. This is why the podcast on my Patreon is a good idea to join, to pay for, because I talk about these things that I can't talk on YouTube anymore. But the point is that I was looking for something and it threw me results that were the exact opposite. Like, okay. Damn. Shadow banning is like crazy today. Yeah, it's there, it's overly present. But my problem with shadow banning is that it's happening out of nowhere. Not only to me. I've seen other YouTubers. There's this guy from Spain. What's the name of his channel? Slobulus, I think. I think he's from Spain, but I watched a video where he complained about being shadow banned just because he was putting the link to his Twitch channel in the description. And that's it. Like, why do you shadow ban that? What's wrong with YouTube, man? What the fuck? And the AI, that's what I'm talking about, you know? That's what I'm fearing, that YouTube has no control anymore of their own artificial intelligence. Their algorithms. They're doing crazy shit and they don't even care. Even Alpha Omega Sin could not revive his channel completely. What happened to that guy? I saw him come back like last year, or yeah, right. He made a bunch of videos about Resident Evil, and I don't know. I only watched like 2 of them, and he disappeared again, didn't he? Do you think you can still make short films? Yes, I can, Kiss, but the thing about short films is that they're so hard to do. There's a lot of commitment. You really gotta commit to one. And I just don't think I have the talent or the patience or the commitment to do them anymore. Maybe one day, right? Maybe one day I'll come back, but it's just not one of my priorities. Hell, I don't even know if I want to keep writing books anymore. I'll definitely keep translating my books, the ones that are in Spanish. I have two left to translate to English. But writing a brand new book, I kind of want to, and I've been dying to write one. The same one that I've been going on about since last year, since 2 years ago. I really want to write that book, but I just don't think there's an audience for my writing anymore. I mean, there's just very extremely small. People don't read anymore. There's a lot of entertainment distracting us, begging for our attention, competing for our attention nowadays. It wasn't like before where you only have one book, one music CD, one video game, and one movie. Like in the 90s, right? And nowadays you have 10,000 or 10 million things of everything competing for your attention. So it's understandable that some art forms are starting to die. Maybe it's time for me to move on and start writing scripts for games. Maybe someone will hire me to write an RPG. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna write that book no matter what, though, but I just don't feel any motivation whatsoever. Yeah, I've said that before, that YouTube needs some aggressive competitor, like Twitch. There's Rumble, but it's just very politicized. I mean, YouTube is very politicized on... we can't talk about this anymore. Well, I don't really care that much about the Q&As getting shadow banned, but the problem is that my entire channel gets shadow banned for saying shit against YouTube and their political beliefs. But I'm pretty sure you knew what I was going to say. Short films like the old Cinemassacre videos. Oh yeah, I've watched some of his short films. But Jane's short films aren't that serious. They are more on the horror, funny side of things. My are more on the psychological side of things, serious, mature rated. Nah. Yeah. If you write a new book, I'll buy it. Thanks, I will. It's about a vampire in a modern age. And I really want to, make the book about the political situation, social and political situation of the world, and just shit on it, trash it, and criticize it, but also offer a lot of different points of view through different characters. That's what I want to do with my book. But it's gonna be, you know me, it's gonna be fucked up, dark, psychological, weird, bizarre. Yeah. There won't be any sparkling vampires. You just need to start a book voicing company in Mexico. What political beliefs is he talking about? Somebody else is gonna have to answer to you, man, not me. I'm done with getting banned and cancelled here on YouTube. If you could write for an RPG company, which one would it be? Atlus, Falcom, Square, or other? Okay. Probably Falcom. Because Square Enix and Atlus will definitely most likely censor me. They will read my script and say, you can't say this is offensive, this is not, this is wrong, this goes against blah blah blah. And Falcom, I feel like they wouldn't. Maybe. So maybe Falcom. Or I would love to write for Spike Chunsoft. Or the people who make the Danganronpa series. I would like to make a Danganronpa RPG and write it. Because those are the only types of stories we're getting that are kind of like out of the political spectrum of things. Speaking of vampires, have you played the Masquerade Bloodlines? I'm not sure if it's the same one I played on the computer a long time ago, but my computer kind of sucks for those types of games, and I was struggling a lot because I didn't have a controller. I was playing with the mouse, with the touchpad of my laptop. Imagine, it was hell. I liked what I played. I'd love to come back to that series one of these days. Have you read certain dark things about vampires in Mexico? No. Falcom is your favorite RPG developer company, right? No, it's actually Atlus. Despite their current state of things and policies and politics and whatever, Atlus is still my favorite developer. Believe it or not, Falcom is up there. Top 3, definitely, but I like Atlus a little bit more. Tri-Ace is one of them. Vanillaware. How about investing on a new PC? I'm planning on doing that next year. Not this one. I have other things to pay this year to take care of. But yeah, definitely next year I'm getting a new computer. Level 5 is under Square? No, I don't think so. No. I think Level 5 has gotten to a point where they are publishing their own games. They used to be under Bandai Namco, I think. But Level 5 is like independent right now, I think. Could be wrong though. NIS America will censor it on the publishing side. Maybe. Yeah, Vanillaware. Atlus, Falcom, Vanillaware, Tri-Ace. Nowadays, Squaresoft doesn't count because it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm missing. I am not saying Konami. Suikoden is my favorite series of all time, but let's give credit to the developers themselves, not to the company. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, NIS America censors many things, but not as many as you think. I'm sure he would love to write for Compile Hard. Not really. I'm gonna tell you why no. I love fan service, but I don't like creating it. If you've read any of my books, you will probably notice that my girls are all well dressed. There's no fan service in them. I don't know, I love watching it and playing it and whatever, but writing characters like that, I just don't do that. And obviously Compile Hard will say no to me. Say, Eric, you gotta have at least one adult female character sexualized, one teenage, and one lowly. and I just, that's just not me, man. Nothing against that, it's just not me. I don't feel like writing characters like that. I just focus way more on how on their personalities and the character development, stuff like that. The fan service quota. I don't know. Yeah, Compile Hard will never hire me. Did the new Dragon Quest III remake get cancelled? No, they're just delaying it. I don't know why. I think I read something about them announcing the game for this year. I don't know, but it hasn't been cancelled. Don't worry. Top 100 lowlies in RPGs. Nah. You will write for Compile Hard. Video game, anime, manga tropes are timeless. They are. I mean, but I'm just not that type of writer. You know, I can't write a sexualized character. I can't. I don't like it. I don't like it. I've seen videos. I haven't watched a single one of them, but I've seen other people uploading videos with that title, like 10 JRPGs like Final Fantasy Tactics, 10 JRPGs like this. The idea just sounds very generic, so I think you will write a script for Shin Megami Tensei 6. Oh, I would love to write the script for Shin Megami Tensei 6, but then Atlus will probably impede me to exploit my full creativity. You're gonna get Baten Kaito's remasters? I probably will, yeah. At some point. I'm not gonna buy them on launch, but I definitely will get them at some point, especially if they get a physical release, right? I could see you writing on a Danganronpa game. I will go nuts with the script, man. Nuts. What did you study? I studied music. I'm a musician. I'm a failed musician, and I quit music a long time ago. I still play the guitar almost every day. I have these 1 hour long or so sessions where I just turn up the amplifier and the guitar and play some of my favorite songs, the ones that I can play. But that's about it, you know. I'm no musician anymore, but that's what I studied, music. Thank you, Consav. What RPGs being north of 40 hours? Do you have any suggestions for folks that have backlogs of 5-10 RPGs but only 7-10 hours a week to play? Are you trying to ask me suggestions for short RPGs? Yes, that's one. I think that's what you're trying to ask, with RPGs being over 40 hours long. I have done a lot of videos on that. You know, you can look them up on YouTube. I have like 3 videos or 4 videos. I think I have 4 different videos with tons of JRPGs that are short as hell and that are very worth playing. Most of the Vanillaware games are like quite short. Play Dragon's Crown, for example. It's a beat 'em up action RPG. You can beat it in like 8 hours or so. There's a lot of them that are not even like 20 hours long. Redemption Reapers is another one. If you like strategy RPGs, that's one released this year that I played recently, and I fucking loved it. And I beat the game in like 19 hours. Dead End Request 2, another super strongly recommended game, I beat in like 15 hours. In fact, I think Dead End Request 2, even with side quests, you're not gonna do more than 20 hours. Check those games out and check those videos out, man. Full of recommendations. Nemo Propaganda, man. How are you? Have you tried Fuga or Fuga 2? Yeah, I love those games. Fuga 2, I didn't find it that relaxing because I thought it had a lot of very cheap enemies. Cheap as in hard, not hard, more like annoying. But yeah, wonderful games, man. Fuga Melodies of Steel 1 and 2. And I've been talking about those games for a while now. I covered both of them in recent videos. Top 25 Switch, must play Switch JRPGs. Switch PS4 JRPGs. If you missed the Hidden Gems video on Switch Part 3, a lot of people missed it because I was shadow banned when I made it. I covered Fuga Melodies of Steel 2 in there. I'm a big fan of Fuga 1 and 2, man. I love those fucking games, and thanks for your wishes on my mom. She's doing better, thankfully. I'll see her today. Rondo of Swords is very easy and very short. Get the fuck out of here, man. It's one of the hardest games on the DS. Chrono Trigger music, that's right. Speaking of RPG lengths, how long was Super Mario RPG? I remember beating the original game without secrets and side stuff in like 20 hours, 22 hours. And then I beat the secret bosses, and I did some side content, side stuff like the Yoshi stuff and the super bosses like I mentioned. No matter what you do in Super Mario RPG, it's not longer than 30 hours. I think I remember doing like 26 hours, 28 hours. Doing absolutely everything. That's one game I 100%ed. Super Mario RPG back in the Super Nintendo. I wonder if the remake is going to be longer, if it'll have more content, more additional stuff. It probably will. I can't wait for this remake, man, and what they're gonna do with it. Pretty excited for it. But yeah, the original Super Mario RPG, 25 hours, around that. That's it, no matter what you do. But it's that's a stretch. I think you can beat Super Mario RPG in like 20 hours. Did you get Crisis Core Remaster? No, I didn't. I didn't really care that much for the original on the PSP, so I wasn't that interested in the remaster. I'll probably get it at some point. You want a remake for Thousand Arms? Well, yeah, I could benefit from a remake because it's one of those games. I think the battle system aged pretty well, but the navigation with the little guy, it's so fucking small you can barely see him. Mice, that's his name. What was the guy's name? Mice? Was it Mice or Maze? Mice? Something like that, right? And I don't know, man. Yeah, a remake could work for Thousand Arms, but let's face it, it's just not gonna happen. The best we can hope for with Thousand Arms is a remaster or some kind of re-release digitally, because it's still an exclusive on the PS1. You cannot play Thousand Arms anywhere legally except the PS1. Never got a digital release on PS3 or Vita or whatever, right? You know what? Fuck. Fun game, Thousand Arms. Do you think it's right to consider a JRPG difficult, even if you can just grind and overcome every obstacle without struggle? Hey, I remember making a video about that. This guy in Canada I met, he said that you could beat every single RPG in existence by just grinding, and that wasn't entirely true. Final Fantasy VIII says hello to you. You can grind forever until level 99 like I did in Final Fantasy 7 and 8, and I didn't beat it. Final Fantasy 8. So you might want to watch that video. That's an interesting topic that I already covered. I think most JRPGs can be beaten by just grinding, no matter how difficult they are, but not all of them. Some of them, you need to figure out what to do and how to do it to beat them. Final Fantasy VIII being a perfect example. You can't just grind your way through. Xenogears another one. You can't just grind a lot on Xenogears and expect to just beat it. No. Final Fantasy VIII goes up to 100. Really? Well, I did that so long ago that I don't remember. I don't remember. Star Tropics for NES is a good game. I didn't play Legend of Dragoon on PS4. I played it on the PS1. Best battle system in an RPG? It's difficult to answer such a question because there's so many that back then were very original and unique, and nowadays they feel like everybody's done them or copied them or ripped them off. One of my favorites is Fire Emblem. I love the Fire Emblem battle mechanics since the good old days on the Super Famicom and the Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Wii, you know. But nowadays you might think of the Fire Emblem battle system as overused. Like, oh my god, is that's your answer? Yes, that's my answer. But you gotta take into consideration that I've been playing Fire Emblem for like 20 years. And Fire Emblem has got my favorite battle system in any JRPG whatsoever. I love it. You're crazy, man. You were level 100 before the end of the first disc? That's crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. Do you prefer the challenge of not grinding and attempting bosses? Yes. And I still do that. I've been doing that the entire game with Trails into Reverie. I'm playing on normal. And some bosses have been pretty challenging so far, but I know for a fact that if I grind a lot, I'm gonna kill them in seconds. So what's the point? Yeah. I prefer to not grind and challenge myself with some bosses until I get to the point where I can't beat the damn boss, and so it's back to fucking grinding. Right? In Grow Lancer, doesn't matter the levels, you have to be like 20,000 IQ to beat it. Which Grow Lancer? The first one I never played. I played the original Grow Lancer, but I never beat it because I only played it for like an hour because it's in Japanese and it's not fan translated to English. But yeah, others, like the second game, for example, they can get really fucking hard. You think the JRPG genre is in a good spot right now? It couldn't be in a better spot right now. I said it before, like 2 or 3 years ago. This is the true golden age of RPGs. If you think it was back in the mid-90s, no, it's right now. Everybody and their mom is releasing RPGs. A lot of them are bad, but a lot of them are good too. And the genre itself wasn't mainstream back in the day, and it is fucking now. So I think it couldn't be in a better spot, the genre. Unless it's a massive roadblock, keeping the grinding to a minimum makes for a more enjoyable experience. Same here. But you know, I don't take it against people who love to grind a hell of a lot and just be overpowered and kill everything. I know a guy. He doesn't watch the streams, but if you guys are on my Discord, you know who it is. Man, and he loves to do that, and I'm like, man, I just don't have the same amount of free time as you to grind as much as I can and destroy everything in seconds. First, I don't have the time, like I said, and two, I don't find that fun. It's more fun to me to just go in head on, face the bosses and die and figure things out and do something different and die, and then okay, I'll grind. I was talking about Grow Lancer 4. You're gonna make me talk about that fucking game. I have a strong love-hate relationship with that game. You're right. It doesn't matter. Well, actually, I do remember grinding before certain battles in Grow Lancer 4. I mean, the defend the flags mission was... I died a lot. And I kept changing my strategy over and over again. Doing different things, and I still died. And I was so fucking angry, man, with that mission. And I grinded. And I beat it. It was still a pain in the ass to beat, but I beat it. My chances improved thanks to grinding. So... you can still grind your way out of Grow Lancer 4. Not all missions, but most of them. With the final boss, it was the same. The final boss was a bitch in Grow Lancer 4, and I remember all I did was grind a lot, and I stood better chances against it. So I think grinding does help a lot in Grow Lancer 4. But it's not gonna save you from absolutely everything in that game. I mean, the route, there's a route. If you choose the route to fight against your friends and ally with the government, I forget the name of the guy, the bad guy, one of the bad guys in that game. I mean, that's a really hard route. I never beat it. And I grinded a lot, and I still never beat it. Fucking hardcore route, man. Where you practically become one of the bad guys. You grinding harder difficulties? I'm the other way around. If I'm gonna grind, I'm gonna change the difficulty to easy or very easy, just so I can reduce the time to grind, and then I'll go back to normal. I don't see any point on grinding on harder difficulties. I mean, you grind just because you need to level up, right? Mainline SMT does a great job of making the grind smart, less about levels than finding the right skills and party setup. Yeah, that's right. You can save a lot of grinding, a lot of time by getting the right demon and training that demon until it learns the abilities you need to beat the next boss. Yeah, a true SMT fan. Yeah, there's just no point in grinding a lot in Shin Megami Tensei. You just gotta get the right demons and the right skills and know when to use them and how to use them in battle. It's more about that than just grinding. Oh man, no problem. Dead End Request, it surprised me a lot too. That's why I included those games in surpassed my expectations, because I just couldn't believe it. You know, a compiled hard game is this good with this level of storytelling. Man, hope you love Dead End Request too. With the news of Super Mario RPG getting a remake, what other SNES JRPGs do you think should also get a remake? The thing about Super Nintendo games is that most of them aged pretty well and they do not need a remake, but I would personally love to see a remake of Lufia 2 in the 2D HD 2D graphic style, or maybe the Quintet trilogy, especially Terranigma. You know, Terranigma, Illusion of Gaia, Soul Blazer, those three games could benefit from any kind of remaster or remake. Definitely those games. Or hell, remake the first Lufia. Maybe it'll finally become a good game. Which JRPG do you think resembles Dead End Request a lot? In terms of what? In terms of battle system, it's pretty similar to Eternal Sonata. It's pretty similar. You just move around, position yourself, your character near the enemy, and you press buttons, right? Or you select your attacks, so it's kind of similar. Maybe you're gonna think that I'm crazy, but think about it. Valkyria Chronicles is kind of similar. Or Ark the Last 4, Lost Dimension. I mean, the battle system in Dead End Request 1 and 2 is very original, don't take me wrong, it's amazing. It's unique. But there are similar battle mechanics seen before. But in terms of, well, Dead End Request 1 is not that special. But the second one, with all the gore and shit, wow, I can't think of any. You know, I can only think of the Drakengard series in terms of, you know, blood and gore and fucked up stuff like that. The Nier games, maybe, you know, they're more laid back. But Drakengard 1 and 3, they went batshit crazy with that, man. And then there are other games like visual novels, for example, that are darker than Dead End Request 2, or the Corpse Party series by the same author. But it's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to answer your questions. There aren't a lot of games with that style. That's why they're so fantastic. Dead End Request 1 and 2. The Persona games may have a little psychological stuff like that too, and bloody, but not on that level. Do you have a top 50 video of RPGs shortest to longest? No, I don't. I do have a top 10 longest RPGs I've played, but that's 2.5 years ago. That video was 2.5 years ago. It might need an update. I feel like I've played a couple of longer RPGs that weren't in there, but yeah, I do have a top 10 longest RPGs I've played, but top 50 shortest to longest, no. What Persona game do you think is the most difficult? Definitely Persona 3, because you don't have, I mean the original versions, because you don't have any control whatsoever of your party members. And sometimes they do very smart things, but sometimes they do very stupid things that may fuck up your strategy. So, yeah. Persona 4, the final boss was hard as fuck. The true final boss, hard as fuck. But yeah, I mean, Persona 2, the Persona 2 games, you know what? Persona 1 is the hardest of them all. Fucking stupid ass hard of the game, man. The Persona 1, the first one. It doesn't matter if you play the PS1 version or the PSP version. That's the hardest Persona game, the first one. Nothing comes close. Like I said, a lot of Super Nintendo games do not need a remake. They aged pretty well. I'm more on the side of getting them on modern systems, even if it's just on the Switch emulator. That's it. They don't need a remake. More like they need some kind of remaster or re-release. Others do need a remake. I do believe Breath of Fire 1 and 2 need at least some kind of remaster, because they have a lot of random encounters. You can't run, you only walk. Breath of Fire 2 has a lot of backtracking that's just fucking annoying, super tedious. Those two games could benefit from a remake or a remaster. A remaster that fixes all of those. Oh, there you go, someone's saying Breath of Fire 1 and 2 too. Yeah, man, I mean, I don't find playing Breath of Fire 1 and 2 that fun anymore. I don't think they aged that well as others, like Super Mario RPG or Chrono Trigger, or hell, dare I say, Final Fantasy VI. Xenogears aged like crap. It just aged pretty bad, like a lot of PS1 JRPGs. Legend of Dragoon is another one, it just didn't age very well. Chrono Cross aged well, I feel. Chrono Cross aged pretty well, but it's already been remastered, and the remaster is nowadays the best version to play of the game, because they fixed the frame rate and resolution issues. They didn't fix the CGI cutscenes, too bad, but that's about it. Everything else was fixed, so there you go. Thank you for playing Evolution. Evolution is a... are you a fan of the games from the Dreamcast? You're a fan of those games? Also on GameCube? But you probably missed it, man. A Super Mario RPG remake was just announced 3 days ago. Yeah, Xenosaga is the one trilogy that always gets mentioned in these Q&As. Evolution, the World of Sacred Device on the Dreamcast. Fun little game. I played it on the GameCube, Evolution Worlds, and I never beat it. I don't know why. It was a long time ago, and I got rid of the game. I don't think I was collecting back then. No, I wasn't. I wasn't a collector back then, so I got rid of Evolution Worlds on the GameCube. I don't remember why. I think I got stuck in a boss fight and I was too lazy to go back and grind or do something else or retry the boss fight. And that's it. I never went back to it. I don't know why. Fuck. Exactly, Xenogears is a good remaster. Not really a remake. Or a remake with a turn-based battle system. An HD 2D remake. Skies of Arcadia, I also quit because it pissed me off that when you get your ship, you're stuck with this guy, this old pirate guy, and I didn't know where I was supposed to go. It was in this big space, and there was a massive barrier blocking me from going back to that side of the world. And it was a long time ago. I'm trying to remember, and I got lost, and there was a shit ton of random encounters, and it drove me mad, and I rage quit. I rage quit on Skies of Arcadia. I got lost in that part. Shit ton of random encounters, man. In the overworld with the ship. With the ship. It was a long time ago. I got mad. I like Sega. I'm a big fan of Sega. As a developer. I'm a big fan of some of their games. Phantasy Star 4. The Phantasy Star Universe Tetralogy. The Yakuza Like a Dragon was an amazing game. Valkyria Chronicles, I'm a die-hard fan, and you guys know that. Which of the Shadow Hearts games is your favorite? And which is the least favorite? My favorite is the first one, even though I think the second one has better gameplay and battle mechanics. But I think in terms of storytelling, I like the first one a little bit more. So it's a close tie. Both of them are just as good. I can't decide. And my least favorite will be the third one. Even though I beat it and I thought it was a good game. I enjoyed it. Is there any one game you got rid of from your collection that you regret? You just had to ask that, huh? There's a lot of them, a fuck ton of them. The first dot hack games, for example. Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine. I sold all of them. All of them for $30. It was a long time ago. They weren't that bad shit expensive as they are nowadays. Especially Quarantine. But I sold all 4 of them for $30 fucking dollars. And it goes downhill from there, man. I sold special editions of R. Tonelico 1 and 2, mint condition, and Manakimia 1 and 2, all 4 of them for like, well, I sold each one of them for 800 pesos, which is like $40 each. $40 each. I sold my Persona 2 Innocent Sin PSP edition with the soundtrack and the cardboard box for like $25. So yeah, man. I've done some really fucking stupid shit. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Thankfully, I got 2 copies of it, mint condition, and I kept one. And I still have it in my collection, but the other one I sold it for $25. You gotta understand that back in the day, back when that happened, Path of Radiance was still selling for like $30, $40, and that's it, max. So it wasn't that stupid, to sell my extra copy for $25. I needed the money. But nowadays, the game's like $300 and whatever dollars. Yeah, man. I think a lot of us have done some really stupid shit, man. Games, JRPGs that I regret selling, or even games, I got a copy of Hunting Ground. I still have my copy of it, but my first copy, I let it go for like $30, the equivalent of $30 back then. And I got it back in Blockbuster years later for a laughable price, and that's the one I own in my collection currently. But the first copy of Hunting Ground, I sold it for $30. And it's a $300 game nowadays. Yeah, there's a lot of them, man. It's just a lot of... This topic gives me anxiety because I hate remembering selling those games and really regretting it years later, man. Like, what the fuck was I thinking, man? But I needed the money back then. When you need money and that's it. What can you do? And I've also have a lot of other examples of JRPGs that I didn't buy because I thought they were expensive back then, and nowadays they're way more expensive. Trails in the Sky on the PSP, I'm looking at you. I let it go for like $50, and nowadays it's what, like 100 and something. Man, and it could have been even cheaper for me had I traded some games in. But I didn't like a fucking idiot because I said $50. No way, that's too expensive. Hexis Force. I remember seeing the game for like $30, but that was like 15 years ago. $30 was a lot of money back then, but still. Hexis Force. Man. Legend of Mana on the PS1. This guy was selling the game mint condition like 5 or 6 years ago for like $25. And I said no. Song of the Ocean, the Legend of Heroes Song of the Ocean, also on PSP. Same, this girl had it for like $15, and I said no. Enough. I don't want to keep talking about my misfortunes and my mistakes, the biggest mistakes in my collecting life. Letting go of some really good deals, like an idiot, or letting go of games in my collection for a laughable price that nowadays go for like crazy amounts of money. Man, it's just ridiculous. The stupidities that I've done in the past. What about you guys? I'm seeing a lot of comments. Somebody sold Suikoden 2 for beer money or something. Wow. Bring back floppy dogs. Thanks for joining, man. He says, I've been piecing back together my SNES and PS2 collections. I feel the pain. Oh man. Final Fantasy 3 is another one of them. I remember when it was like $30, just the cart, mint condition, and I let it go. Code of Princess on the Switch. I went to this guy's store and he had it for like, well, it was 40 Canadian dollars, 30 US dollars. I didn't buy it. I thought it was expensive. I was like, man, no, nah. The same with the 3DS version. And they both happened within months. I saw the 3DS version for dirt cheap, didn't buy it, regretted it. Switch version a few months afterwards, didn't buy it, regretted it, and now both versions go for over $100. Fuck. And I've been doing the same with Blue Reflection 2 on the Switch. It's because I want Blue Reflection 2 on the PS4. I got a review code, so I have it digitally on the PS4, and I want to own the PS4 version, not the Switch version. But the Switch version is the one that I've been seeing for like $30, and I know for a fact it's one of these days it's gonna go up in price and it'll never go down. But right now I just have other priorities. That's also a problem, right? When you see the deals, but you're like, I can't right now. There's a difference between seeing a deal and saying, no, it's too expensive. I have money, but. No, that's one thing, but another thing is seeing a good deal and not getting it because you have other priorities right now. You can't buy it right now at that price. Good topic, man. Good question. Bound to be on my second channel as a clip one of these days. But that's it. I don't want to sour the mood by remembering all the stupid things that I did. And what's your rarest game that you own? There's a video that I did on my second channel where I showcased my Holy Grails. You should check it out. But the one that is the rarest, I think it's gotta be Haunting Ground. Or probably Valkyrie Profile on the PS1. Or I just don't know how much they have increased. I'm pretty sure Haunting Ground on the PS2 is the rarest JRPG that I own. It used to be Suikoden 2, but I think it went down in price a little bit. Can you explain Blue Reflection? Like, is it a weird waifu game or a hidden JRPG gem? It's both, but I haven't played the first one. There's 2 games so far, and I've only played the second one, which is a direct sequel of the first one with different characters, but characters from the first one come back, and it spoils something. You know, it spoils a lot of things. It's kind of necessary to play the first one first. But yeah, it's both. The second one is both a waifu game and a JRPG hidden gem. Because gameplay-wise, it's pretty good. And the story, even though it's a waifu game, the story kind of hooks you in. Like, you want to try to help these girls, and whenever they recover their memories, there's a lot of psychological drama in there. So it's kind of like, I mean, you should play them, man. You should definitely give it a chance. It's a really good game. It surpassed my expectations. I was like, man, this is just gonna be a fan service waifu game. And it turned out to be freaking amazing. It's really good. But I can't talk about the first one. Because it's expensive on PlayStation 4. Get Dead and Request now. I have the first one, not the second one, because the second one is already expensive here in Mexico and I can't find it on Amazon, or I know it's on eBay, but buying games from eBay when you live in Mexico is dangerous because most resellers send them through the regular postal service from Mexico, which is fucking garbage. Half of the packages end up getting lost or the motherfuckers steal them. They've stolen from me. Even gifts from fans, they never arrived. They got stolen or mysteriously disappeared. So that's why I don't buy on eBay. I buy on Amazon and, well, the Mexican eBay. But Dead on Request 2 is already expensive. I have the first one. It was a gift from a fan a long time ago. But the second one, I really want to own it. And I can't because it's fucking expensive here in Mexico. It's like $60, man. Thanks again. Bring back floppy dogs. Why would you want floppy dogs to come back? And what the hell is floppy dog seed anyway? I recently got Lunar and Lunar 2 big box sets. I have the first one on the PS1, right? Now I'm looking at Suikodens 2 and 5. So you only have the first one, right? And Dragon Warriors 2 to 8. Feel like I need to set up a budget. Some of these games are still expensive right now. Silly expensive. You know what? Dragon Quest 8 is not that expensive yet, I think. The 3DS one is very expensive. The PS2 is kind of affordable yet. I don't think you're gonna have a lot of trouble with it. But yeah, the previous ones on the Nintendo DS and 7 on the PS1, you might have better luck finding it on the 3DS. Suikoden 3 and 4 are not... 2 is fucking expensive. It's been expensive since forever. 5 is crazy expensive too. 3 and 4, you might get lucky if you keep looking. You might get lucky. Probably 40, 50 bucks each, I think. Maybe. Eric, do you ever get burned out on gaming? Do you take breaks? Yes, I do. But sometimes, because of my job and other priorities, sometimes I only get to play like 1 hour a day. Or 1 hour and a half. So, not really. I've never taken a break from gaming. Never. You mean like an entire week or weeks? Complete weeks without playing a single thing? I don't think I ever done that. But sometimes, you know, I finish a game and the next day I don't play anything. Stuff like that. So I do take really small breaks. But not really. Blue Reflection crashed in price. It got reprinted with Atelier Ryza 2 and price went from 200 to 50. Where? Oh, last questions, guys. Well, actually I gotta go. I'm just gonna look for Blue Reflection PS4. The first one, right? It's $80, man. I don't know where you live, but in Mexico, where I live, the game is on Amazon for $80. I understand there's a big difference between 200 and 80, so it did go down, like you say, but it didn't crash enough to make me buy it. $80? Fuck no. Fuck no. Alright, guys, I gotta go. That was... this is it. Last questions. What do you think of Grandia 3 overall? I think it's an amazing game. It gets a lot of undeserved hate. Try it out. It's really fucking good. The story's not that great, but I mean, you end up liking the characters and you know, you become fond of them. But the battle system is amazing. It's the best in the Grandia series. Definitely try it out. It's really good. Which game would you like to get the most? Right now, Dead on Request 2. And the most amount of time you have played in one day. I made a video about that. It's on my second channel. Check it out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you a lot for the donations of today. And I hope to see you guys on the podcast. Give it a try. It's on Patreon. Link in the description. You get to listen to me rambling and ranting completely uncensored without having to worry about YouTube politics and shit. Check it out if you can. And thanks for watching. I'm going to see my mom. I'm pretty sure she's better. But thanks for your wishes, guys. Thanks a bunch.